You must have a maniacal sense of urgency. It is required. You must do the work now, and the speed you implement the action will determine your success. This is one that I think a lot of people struggle with, because life is both really long and really short. And a lot of our success comes down to how quickly we can implement action, how quickly we can follow through. Often successful people aren't necessarily the people who are the best or the most qualified or anything along these lines. They are the ones who just implemented faster. They were the first to market, they were first to act, they were first to take action, and they followed through. And usually what happens is they failed so many more times than others, that they failed over and over and over again until they learned what meant they would succeed. And this is the difference, that too often we miss our window, we miss the opportunity for success because we spend too long thinking about it and contemplating it and trying to work out what's the best course of action instead of just taking action, taking a stab in the dark, seeing what happens, and working out what to do better next time. And I see this frequently with exercise, with nutrition, with making an actual change in your life, that people are paralyzed. They are, paralysis by analysis. And they spend far too long just thinking about what they could do, determining the best options, working through all the different scenarios and thinking it through all the way, that they never actually take the action. So yeah, they might get to the point where they have the absolute perfect plan, this perfect scenario, and it's beautifully set up. But that doesn't fucking matter because they never did anything with that plan. They never took any action on this to do something different. They didn't actually take action and determine where they would end up. They just thought about it and thought about it, and then the window was gone. And I've said it before, and I mean it, that you will get more success from a terrible training plan and a terrible eating plan executed with full force, with full passion, with full enthusiasm, than you will a perfect plan that is poorly executed, that is just that's barely touched, that's barely done, that's barely given anything. You need to take action. The results come from expedient action. And we need to get past this idea that we have all the time in the world. You don't. You need to act urgently. You need to act now. And it's this catch-22 because it's never too late to act. But if you're constantly waiting for the perfect moment in life to change your life, that perfect moment is never going to come. It is never going to arise. You are never going to reach that point where it is actually a good enough time for you to take action. You are never going to reach that moment. You have to do the work. You have to just decide and take action. It's like that saying, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. The second best time is to plant it right now. Stop thinking, stop waiting for the perfect moment, stop waiting for things to calm down, for life to settle down, or anything of this nature. Just fucking act. Just fucking show up and do the work. Take action. Take imperfect action. Stop being overwhelmed with all the different options and all the things that could be done and all of those stuff. You just need to act. You just need to show up and act and do the work. Because that's where your results come from taking action. And you need to have that urgency behind you, that urgency to win every single day, to act as if it's your last. And it's, as I said before, cliches are cliches for a reason. But it's a cliche of live as if you'll die tomorrow, plan as if you'll live forever. There's some good sound knowledge in that. You need to act as if this could be your very last day on earth, as if this could be the end of it all. You need to act as if you are going to do that you don't have enough time to get it all done. You just need to show up and win that day. Because when you act with urgency, shit gets done. And, I've seen it before. I've seen it in business. I see it in, fitness. I see it in relationships. It comes down to act now and figure it out later. Decide now. Because, you might get it wrong. Things might go haywire. But overall, you'll get there faster than the person who wants to perfectly plan. If you start today and you get, a month in and things aren't perfect, but you're moving, you're making progress, you're progressing in the right direction versus the person who's waiting for the perfect moment and the perfect plan and everything to be aligned. They might get the perfect plan lined up in 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever it may be, and then start, but you're already so far ahead on an average plan that you're already winning. You're so far ahead that they will not catch you. You need to have a sense of urgency in your actions. You need to start going, I am going to do this right now, right this second, right this moment. And there are things beyond that, even down into, whatever you want to believe in, the muse, the universe, God, whatever it is. I find that it nudges you. You get nudged in the right direction. But if you overthink it, if you overanalyze it, if you question it instead of just going, that's a sign, and you run with it, you miss the boat. You were nudged at that moment in time for a reason. Now take action on that nudge and do something with it. Do something of value with that time. You need to show up with urgency in all your things. Even down to your workouts. I have clients and I know people who are like, I'll just get it tomorrow. No, get it fucking today. Not only get it today, but show up and give it everything you have. Imagine that this is the last workout that you'll ever get, that you need to show that this is the best thing that you can show up as. Give it your all. Give it that full capacity. Most of the time, people don't get results in the gym because they half-ass it. They don't give it that urgency and that passion and that enthusiasm. You need to show up like it's going to be your last time ever getting a crack at this. So make it valuable. Make it worthwhile. Show what you can do with that workout, with that time. And it applies to all areas. Like, as I said, live as if you'll die tomorrow and plan as if you'll live forever. But in your relationships as well, love deeply, care deeply, be present. Don't think that you'll get, 1,000 more of these. Be in the moment. Be present with your family, with your loved ones, with those you care about. Be cognizant of what's going on and take value of it. Stop thinking that we have an endless supply of time, an endless amount of opportunities to show up this way. You might, but you also might not. You never know what's going to change. So value it. Value it and utilize it correctly. You need that maniacal sense of urgency that this has to get done now, that you are running out of time. Use that energy, use that forced for your good to create something of true value. That if you show up with urgency now, imagine how much faster you can get to the finish line. If you can condense it down, instead of it being a year from now, could you get it done in 3 months from now? A month from now? How fast can you condense the timeline? It's the age-old adage, if you want something done fast and effectively, give it to a busy person. Because they don't have time to fuck around with other things. They just get shit done. If you give yourself a deadline of you're going to achieve, get in the best shape of your life, and you've got 18 months to do it. 1, if you get it done at all, it's going to take 18 months. But 2, usually that's so far away that you kind of fap around with it. You don't take it seriously. What's the harm in taking today off? What's the harm in having this cheat meal? What's the harm in not following the plan today? What's the harm in sleeping in? You ask these questions because there's no sense of urgency. If you go, I've got 6 weeks to get this done. Now you've got a sense of urgency. You cannot take a single day off. You have to fucking go. You know, even if it's 12 weeks or 126 days, whatever it may be, you've got a sense of urgency because you cannot afford to miss a single one of those days. You cannot afford to make one single mistake because it could derail absolutely everything. So you are more dialed in, you are more channeled into it. So pick an outlandish goal and then shrink the timeline. Don't extend it out to 6 months. Make it a month. How much, you know, if you're in business, how much money can you make this month? Now, how much money can you make this week? How much money can you make today? You know, if it's health and fitness, how much can you dial in your training, your nutrition, your habits? How much more can you give? How much more energy can you put into this? How much more can you push forward for? Dial it in. Now, can you achieve that goal in a month? Probably not. But fucking try. Add some urgency to it. Set an outlandish goal. See what you can achieve in a month. You know, when I did 126 to greatness the first time, I lost 33 kilos in 126 days. When they recommend an average weight loss of 250 grams per week. I lost 33 kilos in 18 weeks. That's a difference. That's what you can do with a sense of urgency, with a sense of focus, with a sense of drive, that shit just has to get done. And that's what it takes. That, you know, life is long, but it's also really, really short, especially if it's filled with regrets. And you're gonna have your life filled with regrets if you are not taking the action, if you are not doing the work, if you're not all in, committed to making it a reality. That's why you need the sense of urgency. It's why you need the maniacal sense of urgency that it has to get done now. Not next week, not next month, not in a year, not in 10 years, fucking now. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to see what happens. You don't have time to see what comes down the line. You need to get it done now. You need to do the work now and make it a reality. You need that sense of urgency. And I don't care what is required to give you that sense of urgency. What you need to do to create that sense of urgency that you're going to do the work. Create deadlines. Make them unrealistic. Challenge yourself. See what is truly possible if you do the work, if you dial it in and actually go all in. Because I think you'll be surprised at how much you're leaving on the table because you're like, I've got time. I've got time to do it. I made this mistake as well. You know, I wanted to, you know, achieve something by this end of this year, but I started in January. And I was like, you know, I've got plenty of time to work this out. Now we're in November, and I'm like, fuck, I am not going to get this done. I am not going to achieve this goal. And the reason is simple. I gave myself too much time to organize that dream. I gave myself too much time to make it a reality. The same with the fitness, with 126 to greatness. With phase 2, I gave myself too much leeway. I was like, this is a bit outlandish. This is really pushing things to the 9. So I gave myself a big time frame instead of dialing it in. I won't make that a mistake again. I'm cranking up the urgency. I'm now going to push for single digits by Christmas. That's a really short window. It's 8 weeks. I don't know if it's possible, but it forces me to really question everything. It forces me every day to go, am I giving this my all? Did I put it all out there? Did I give the maximum effort that I could give? Did I leave it all out there? Yes or no? Make it really simple. Make it fucking black and white. Did I leave it out there? Did I give everything I did? And it doesn't matter if you don't actually reach the end goal on that. The urgency forces you to do it. And that's what it comes back to. It plays into what I talked about the other day about just focusing on the work. Yeah, you need outcomes, you need goals at the end of it, but you focus on doing the work. Now focus on doing the work with a sense of impending doom level urgency. That, you know, if you don't get this done, your family are going to be fucking homeless. They're going to be out on the street and you have let them down. Work with that level of capacity. You know, it's that old saying of like, if you needed 10 grand today, could you make it? Could you get it done? Most people would be like, no, I don't think I could. All right, they've now kidnapped your wife and children. They have a gun to your head. If you don't show up with 10 grand today, they're going to kill your family. Oh shit, all of a sudden, you are coming up with wild, abstract, crazy ideas to make this happen. You are figuring out shit left and right to make sure that you don't end up in that position, that they don't die. It's not that you don't have the capacity to do this work. It's not that you don't have the capacity to achieve these goals. You just haven't attached the urgency and the effort level to make it happen. You just stay in your little box and go, this is good enough. So we need to get rid of that shit. We need to cut that shit out and we need to start adding urgency to it. We need to start acting as if tomorrow is not guaranteed, that everything that you have is not guaranteed, that you have to actually show up and do the work with full out passion and energy, with a maniacal urgency and focus to make sure that this shit gets done. If you do that, then suddenly everything will change, and change faster than you could ever imagine. So that's all I have for you. Now, if you are ready to add some urgency to your timeline, to add some urgency to getting your shit done, then please shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness. Let's get you into a 30-day program where you must change your life in the next 30 days. And let's see who you can become on the other side. If you're not quite ready for that, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness and join the Daily Greatness Mail. Lastly, if you took value from this, if you enjoyed this, if you thought someone else could benefit from this, and they need a sense of urgency in their life, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm here every single day with a new podcast, with a new message for you, sharing from the front, sharing from the lessons I am learning from my life as I go through this journey. And I hope they are impactful and inspiring you as we go through. But I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.